The Shop Therapy Podcast.
It's that boom, boom, boom.
At that point, electric current is passed between the electrodes in the head.
That shit just kicked in. I just feel like I smoked 1,000 blunts.
For discovery brings with it the penalties of society. Shame, arrest, prison.
Oh, sorry, I was taking life seriously.
I'm over the end dangerous territory. This is dangerous territory right here. I'm in.
I don't know what psychotic means, really.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Shock Therapy Podcast for Tuesday, December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas. I am your host, Carson McGregor. You know, sometimes I will get on this podcast after I've showered and done my hair, shaved, all that good stuff, and sometimes I'll just wing it. This is the latter. This is one of the times where I just still have sweatpants on, haven't showered, have not shaved, haven't done any of the things I'm supposed to do. It's like fucking noon, and yeah, so I'm a giant piece of shit. But, you know, it's close to the holidays, so you can kind of be lazy. I have work pretty much up to Christmas Eve. And I'm working a lot. It's not like I'm working small shifts either. I'm working like longer than usual because I'm young, and that's what being young is all about, is working like the worst shifts and not getting paid any more money for it. Isn't that crazy? That it's just an accepted part of being young, that it's like, look, you're going to have to do the dog shit work that nobody else wants to do. And this is your opportunity to further yourself, your education, your career, so you don't have to do this when you're in your 40s, you know? That's kind of what it's all about. I want to live in a world where nobody has to do this shit, but I know it has to be done. If we're trying to live the same lifestyle that we maintain, then we have to have people that work bad jobs that nobody else wants to do and get underpaid for it. That's just the cards at this point. Kind of sucks, but I don't know. It does really kind of inspire you. It does really inspire you. It inspires me to advance myself, you know, improve on my position in life, because I've been doing this not 9 to 5, but jobs shit for, like, you know, small time jobs where if you have no education, you can get them, those type of jobs. I've been doing that for like almost 2 years now. And yeah, it fucking sucks. Fucking sucks, dude. I hate it. You know, I'll tell anybody, any young person, if you're watching this, you don't know how you're going to get, you know, scrape 2 pennies together while you're going through school or while you're doing what you're doing. Get into the food service industry. Get into an industry where you make tips, because that's how you're going to make money. That's just the long and short of it, is that's the only way, as a young, uneducated person without any connections, you can make serious money tomorrow. You know, is wait tables, deliver pizzas, fucking give massages in a strip mall, something like that, where you're gonna get tips. That is the only way that you can make money at a real level, in my experience at least. I don't know what the economic deal is across the country. It could be totally different in Colorado. It could be totally different in Nevada, how it's all set up. But here in Virginia, man, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it. I got buddies that have been working the same, you know, $10 an hour job for a long ass time. And they complain about it. They're like, man, like, I get underpaid here. It fucking sucks. I hate it. Like, I want to get a better job. And I'm like, dude, you could get a better job. You could get a better job. Because the only reason companies can underpay people is because people are willing to be underpaid. I mean, it's not that simple. People need jobs, and sometimes jobs aren't plentiful, so you have to take what you can get. But if we were somehow able to, as a community, as a country, as people, make it clear that we won't work for, you know, a really low salary get underpaid for a job, the companies wouldn't be able to underpay us. That's just how it is. If we make the message clear, but you can't make it clear, everybody's got to get on the same page. You know, I got a lot of good ideas. I got a lot of good ideas, I think, but they all involve everybody getting on the same page real quick. You know, it's like legalizing drugs. Like, I think legalizing drugs is a really fucking good idea, but everybody's got to get on the same page tomorrow. You know, it's a process that's going to take fucking years if we can't get everybody to just agree to it, you know? Or at least most people. At least most people. Shit. What did I want to talk about today? I don't want to talk about anything Christmas related because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really feeling too much in the Christmas spirit due to the nature of the world right now, what everybody's going through. Doesn't really seem like a super Christmassy time. And I'm going to be honest, Christmas is one of those holidays, a lot like Halloween, that as I've gotten older, the magic has evaporated. I think that's something with Christmas. You lose, it loses its its magic. It loses all that shit, all what's special about it as you become an adult. And then once you have kids, it regains that quality because then you have the opportunity to bring that magic into somebody else's life. So I'm kind of at that middle stage where Christmas is whatever. Halloween to me is whatever. I don't party. I think as an adult, if you start partying, Halloween becomes fun again because, you get to go to these adult costume parties and fucking, drink a whole bunch and have a good time. But that's just not really what I'm doing at this point in my life. So Halloween just seems like another night to me. I remember this most recent Halloween. I know it's a bit different because of COVID, but I stayed home. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I don't know. Holidays, man. I don't really celebrate them. Thanksgiving's the only one that I celebrate wholeheartedly because that's never going to get old. The Thanksgiving meal, the traditional Thanksgiving meal is fire. It's fucking fire, dude. There's no denying that. Turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, all that shit. Pumpkin fucking pie. When else do you get to eat pumpkin pie at the rate that you do during Thanksgiving? I guess if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. You can buy pumpkin pie at any point in the year, but that's the time when it's around. That's the time when you see it in grocery stores and you're like, holy shit, pumpkin pie. Let me get one of those. It's fucking delicious. We should eat more pumpkin pie as a culture, as a people. What else are we doing with pumpkins? Truly. Seriously, what else are we doing with pumpkins? Besides carving them and making pumpkin pie. I don't know anybody that's just out here eating pumpkins like that. Doesn't seem like a thing people do. What I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about for real. Oh yeah. Fucking apology videos. Now, I am not a YouTube person. I am just a person who puts these little videos out on YouTube that nobody really watches. And so I can kind of say whatever I want at this point. If I were to ever, get some type of following, that might be different. But at this point, I can kind of just talk off the hip and say whatever I feel. But if you have some level of fame or celebrity, you can't do that, especially on this platform, because people will come after you. And when I say people, I mean a very small, insular community on the internet that their whole goal is to get hurt, offended, and fucking mad at internet celebrities. I don't get it. Okay. Let me back up a little bit. I'm not trying to be, Mr. fucking PC culture, it's destroying everything. Man, these stupid fucking PC police, they're just out here. So now you can't say anything. You can't say any of the words that we said that when we were kids that we now realize are super offensive. I'm not trying to be that fucking guy, because I think that's annoying as well, to not acknowledge that certain things are hurtful and do affect people. But I think that we've been experiencing as a culture this weird overcorrection where you step into the mud even slightly and they're going to try to drag you down into it and make it seem like that's who you are as a person. You do anything slightly wrong, there's people out there that are going to try to frame you as an asshole. And as a person that only acts in this one particular way. They don't know you personally. They don't know anything fucking about you, really. They just know you through your online content, but they feel like they have the right to judge you. And it's a case-by-case basis for sure. Like, I'm really talking about cancel culture here. And I don't pay attention to these, like, TikTok stars, YouTube stars, the drama that they're getting into, because most of it is super stupid. It is ridiculously stupid. It's very childish. I don't know what it is about this community, just maybe that YouTube is a very young community, full of younger people, but the beef and the drama that happens between YouTubers and you know, just with people on the platform is so fucking first grade. It's ridiculous. The cancellation makes sense for certain people. It makes sense for a guy like Chris D'Elia because he was accused by several women of sexual misconduct. That fucking makes sense to me. I don't know if he did it. I'm not trying to accuse Chris D'Elia of doing it. I don't know the guy. I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on. But multiple credible accusations came up about the guy. So if you want to stop supporting his stuff, what he does, that's understandable. I understand that completely. I see the same thing with Louis C.K. I don't know why I'm doing all comedians right now. Fucking Bill Cosby, of course. But I don't know why Ellen is being canceled. I really don't know. I've read about it. I know the situation. But I don't get it. Because she's a famous person, you know? I bet most of the people that she encounters that aren't her immediate close friends or family are trying to use her. That's the variable that a lot of people don't think about, is that if you get that A-list celebrity status, most of the people that you come across are going to either try to use you for their own personal growth, you know, to try to get more famous themselves, get more, you know, people to watch them, look at them, get more recognition, or make money off of you. Everybody's trying to make something happen because of you. They're trying to hop on your coattails. And so ignoring people, because apparently that's what she does, you know, the whole, like, don't look at me in the eyes when we're on set thing, like, don't fucking look at me, don't talk to me type shit. It's dick behavior. It's very asshole type of behavior, but to me, that's kind of understandable. It's kind of understandable. Everybody you encounter is trying to fucking steal from you. It makes sense that it's like, nobody fucking talk to me because I don't want to deal with any of this bullshit. It can be frustrating, I'm sure. And I'm not trying to, like, cast her out as the victim here. Absolutely not. But the fact that everybody's like, oh yeah, cancel Ellen, and just leaves it at that simple ass explanation. Like, yeah, no, she's done. She's done. We don't care about her. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all, man. I mean, it took me a really fucking long time to come to the conclusion that I shouldn't support Louis C.K. It took me a really long time because it's not, to me, it's not something that's simple. These things are not simple. You can look at them simply, but I think that's ridiculous. I think that's a stupid way to approach these things, as if there's no nuance whatsoever. Now, I've come to the conclusion that I shouldn't support Louis C.K. because I think that what he did was really fucking bad. Now, here's the difference, I think. I don't believe that he should never be able to make a living again. I don't think that people that support him are bad people, because we're fucking falling into this whole groupthink thing where, oh, if you like the thing that I think is bad, then you are bad, and so I'm gonna publicly oust you for being bad, and that makes me good. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It's teams, it's colors, it's fucking stupid. So I don't hate Ellen DeGeneres because I don't know Ellen DeGeneres, and what she did was not criminal. You know, it wasn't criminal, it was dick behavior, but fucking who cares? I think there's a lot of celebrities out there that are dicks that I'm still going to support what they do because what they do is good. I don't watch Ellen's show. I'm not her demographic. I don't think if she looked at me, she would think I watched her show. But there's definitely directors who are assholes whose movies I watch. There's definitely actors whose movies and shows I watch that they're documented douchebags. I don't really care about that. Yes, I would like to support the art of somebody whose values align with mine. That would be nice. But if we're thinking about this realistically, most people's values don't align with yours on a 100% basis. Maybe at a basic level, a lot of people's values align with yours. Like, I want everybody to be okay. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to feel like shit. I don't want anybody to be, poor and impoverished. Those like basic, building blocks of a value system. Maybe we all sort of align there. But when it comes to the nitty gritty, you're gonna be hard pressed to find celebrities that 100% agree with all the things that you agree with. So I think that like picking these little bitty things, these little bitty qualities about a person, and kind of painting the picture that that's who they are is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Now back to the YouTube thing. The reason I'm talking about this in the first place is because I watch a lot of stories on Snapchat, and I watch like half of them as genuine entertainment, and I watch the other half as a hate watching experience. It's not something I should probably do. It's probably not good for me, but I do kind of enjoy it. The perverse part of myself really enjoys watching something and be like, oh, this fucking asshole, like the Ben Shapiro show. I love watching the Ben Shapiro show because I just get angry. And that's not good. I'm aware that that's not good, and I definitely shouldn't do that. Like, it's just bad for my mental health. It's bad for anybody to watch something with the intentions of hating it. But I still do it. And the other ones, like the super right-wing stuff that I see on Snapchat, like I watch that to hate it. And then the super duper left-wing stuff, I do the same thing, like Pink News and Vulture, those types of publications. I'll watch those to be like, oh, these guys are such fucking assholes. Especially Vulture. They literally are what their name says they are. If you don't know who Vulture is, it's basically like this TMZ type of publication, but their whole thing is, I mean, I guess TMZ does this too, but their whole thing is focusing specifically on celebrity drama, interpersonal drama. Like, they don't cover like, oh, this new movie's coming out. Like, because TMZ will do shit like that too. Like, oh, like this person's working on a new movie, like in secret. And so we got the scoop on that. Like, TMZ will do that sort of shit. They will try to bring you at least a little bit of genuine real news to go along with the gossip. But, Vulture is strictly gossip. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. There's another one on Snapchat, like this podcast. They'll post clips of themselves from their podcast where they talk about like, who are they talking about, man? Who are they fucking talking about? It was like Chris Pratt or somebody. It was some celebrity, some just random. Oh, it was Charlie Puth. They were talking about Charlie Puth, and they were trying to figure out, is he a Trump supporter? Now, he has not vocally come out and said, like, I support these things about Donald Trump. I like Donald. He has never said anything like that. But he stayed out of the public eye when it comes to political views. And it's the same thing with, like, Taylor Swift. You know how Taylor Swift, everybody started to assume that she was like super Republican because she didn't come out and say her views? It's like, no, because this is what you're doing to them. You are putting them in this box and being like, well, who do you side with? Like, you're cutting their fan base in half. Because somebody like Charlie Puth or Taylor Swift, they're going to have fans on both sides of the aisle, and they don't want to piss anybody off. They just want their fans to like them for their music, and they don't want to come out and say something that's going to make somebody be like, oh, well, I don't support them anymore. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't put them in that position. They're not politicians. They're public figures. They're actually doing what you claim you want other celebrities to do when other celebrities come out, state their political opinions, and they don't align with yours. I'm talking to this like specific podcast right now. I don't even... If you're not following, I understand, because I've kind of lost myself even. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so these people are like, he should come out and just say what he believes so that it can be clear. But if another celebrity comes out and says, like, you know what, honestly, I'm a Trump supporter. I honestly like Trump. Like, these things about him are really appealing to me, and so I voted for him. They'd be like, well, you're just an actor. You should fucking stay out of it. You should stay out of it. Like, what do you know? But when somebody stays the fuck out of it, then you accuse them of, I don't even know, of just, like, being tight-lipped about a private subject. Like... People should be private about politics if that's their prerogative. They have no... I just don't think you have the right to demand these things. To demand these things from them. I don't think Charlie Puth ever came out and clarified, by the way. Which is awesome. I'm glad. I think he should go through the rest of his career never making it clear what his political affiliations are. That's fucking great. I think Taylor Swift should have done that. You know, because she eventually came out and was like, oh, I support, like, Hillary. I think that's what it was. I mean, she made it clear that she's liberal. And I think it was like, she came out and supported Hillary. But, which is fine. Like, I wouldn't have cared if she came out and supported Trump. I still probably would have not listened to her music because I'm not a big fan of hers. But I really don't give a shit. I really, at the end of the day, don't give a shit. You know? I'll give you an example. Comedian I really like. I like a lot of comedians. I'm a big stand-up comedy fan. And a comedian I really like named Tony Hinchcliffe. He was on a podcast with somebody else. And they were just kind of talking things out, just talking about shit, whatever. Now, I've been listening to Tony on podcasts and his stand-up for a while. Don't really know his political affiliations. I just know he's funny. I know he makes me laugh. And he was talking on this podcast about how he used to be liberal, and then as he got older and as he started to make more money, he realized he's like, oh, I'm super duper conservative. I'm actually like really, really fucking conservative. And I heard that and it surprised me. Because I just didn't expect that from him. You know, a lot of people in the comedy space are super liberal. Or at least they put out the outward perception that's what they are. But it surprised me. But I still am going to go listen to him, even though I totally disagree. You know, I think he talked about voting for Trump. Like, I think voting for Trump is a dumb decision. But it doesn't mean he's less funny to me. It doesn't mean he's less talented. It doesn't mean he's not a great artist. I don't know why I'm like talking right now like I'm talking down to you, the audience person, being like, it doesn't mean he's not a great artist, man. It's just, this is something that's pissed me off. I have not been very clear in this whole podcast. I've been super duper all over the place. This is kind of just like, I didn't prepare any of this. It's kind of just falling out of my head right now, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about this whole vibe really pisses me off of like, you know, watching over a celebrity's every move. And if they do something that you don't like, then you, for some reason, have the right to, you know, blast them on social media so that, you know, 3% of the overall population can post fucking so much on Twitter that it becomes trending within the next 6 hours. And then it makes it seem like, oh man, everybody's talking about this. No, everybody's not talking about this. 3% of people are talking about this. It's a big number in the grand scheme of people. It's a lot of people, but it's not most by a long shot. So we shouldn't be getting in a tizzy about all this. I really respect celebrities when they acknowledge that. You know, when they come out and they say something that that they believe, and then they get a bunch of hate and flack for it, and then they just don't apologize. Like, obviously, if you say something like openly racist or, you know, just openly really fucking harmful and mean and bad, then you should probably apologize. But if it's just something you believe, if it's just your opinion, then be like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for something that I don't feel sorry about. I think apologies should only happen if the person genuinely feels sorry and it's coerced at that point. You know, it's like a confession. You know, if somebody gets up on the stand, if somebody gets dragged to the police station just looking normal, and then they get dragged to court right afterwards with 2 black eyes and a fucking bruised up lip, and the DA says, like, or the judge says, like, how do you plead? And he says, I plead guilty. I totally did it. Something's fishy there, right? So all these, like, celebrities are hopping on camera with 2 black eyes and a bloodied lip, and they're being like, I am so sorry for what I said, because they just don't want to lose money. It's all a money game. They don't want to lose a revenue on the art they made or on the latest social media fucking thing. They just don't want to lose money and fans and popularity, so they're going to just cave and do it. But in the long run, it actually doesn't help you to do that. Like, an apology never fucking helps. It's never accepted. Whoever these fucking people are online who demand an apology, whenever you actually follow through and do it, no matter how genuine you could possibly be, they're going to be like, it wasn't enough. It was not enough. They weren't genuine enough. Those tears, those were fake tears. Like, what do you want? What do you want from everybody? What do you expect from people? I don't know. Merry fucking Christmas, everybody. I don't know how this went so far off the rails. I don't even know what the first 10 minutes were about. I have a little timer on my camera so I can see how long I've been going. And in the first 10 minutes, I did not talk about this. So I just spent the last 20 talking about this bullshit. And I don't even know what I talked about for the first 10, to be honest with you. Eagles are probably getting knocked out of the playoffs. Kind of a bummer. Sucks for me, but saw it coming. Jalen Hurts has been deadly, though. He's been fucking deadly. Like, I think we got our guy. I think we have the answer, the secret sauce, unless it's just like a fluke, you know, a 2-game fluke. Because he played his ass off against the Cardinals. That was a pretty close game. They kept it pretty close, and they beat the best defense in the league, the Saints. So, fucking A, man. Like, I think we're pretty set for our next season. If we do okay in the draft, probably aren't going to make the playoffs, but that's fine. We're going to get a better pick in the draft in that case anyway. That's cool. I'm going to say this right now on camera, and then, like, miraculously, based on the 8% chance we currently have to make the playoffs, we're going to do it. Yeah, whatever I say about football just doesn't come true. But my overall prediction is kind of just based on the stats and based on how everybody's playing. It's probably going to be Chiefs-Packers in the Super Bowl. I said earlier on a different podcast it's going to be Chiefs Seahawks, but the Seahawks have been bad. They've just been really bad lately. Like they play teams that should be a lot worse than them, and they play them pretty close, and that's just not a good sign. Like Packers just beat the shit out of teams that are worse than them. Same with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs kind of bruise up the teams that are on their caliber pretty well as well. So I think it's probably going to be Chiefs Packers. Maybe the Saints will do it. I don't think so because they've kind of shown a lot of chinks in the armor. Could be Buffalo still. Could be Buffalo. I'm not ruling out Buffalo by any means. Chiefs have a high-powered offense and a pretty solid defense, but I think Buffalo's got just as high-powered of an offense that could cut right through the Chiefs' defense, and that might just end up being a game. I see that as being the AFC Championship game, Bills-Chiefs, and that's going to be a who scores last type of game. Because I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop anybody defensively, and it's just going to be a gunfight the whole time. It'll probably be a great game to watch, a lot like that Baltimore Browns game, one of the best games I've ever seen. If you like football at all and you miss that Baltimore Ravens Cleveland Browns game, go back and watch the highlights because it was nuts. I'm sure the highlight videos on the NFL's page are like 35 minutes long because there's so much to cover. It was a really great game, but that's all for me this week. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. Drink RC Cola, sway for president, and I will talk to you guys next week.